Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Cinematic Schematic, the official podcast of thecinematropolis.com, your home to thoughtful conversations on film. I'm your host, Caleb Masters, and today I'm so excited to kick off our coverage of the deadCenter 2022 Film Festival with a special preview of all of this year's exciting festivities that will be held this year in Oklahoma City from June 9th through the 12th. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you who tuned in last year, we are back as the official podcast media partner for the deadCenter 2022 Film Festival. And in today's show, we'll be discussing this year's return to a fully in-person festival, including those activities, before taking a look at all of the awesome movies that will be playing at the festival. And then to close out today's conversation, we'll talk about all of the exciting parties and other festivities that are happening at this year's festival. And of course, I can't do it alone. I'm so excited to be joined by a couple of different members of the deadCenter team. Rejoining us, also with us last year, is Miranda Patton, the deadCenter Director of Operations and the festival. Miranda, welcome back to the Cinematic Schematic.
Hi. Ooh, this is great. You're so good at this. I love it.
Oh, thanks. Well, when I have great guests, it makes it really easy. So thank you for joining us. I'm super excited to be joined by Sarah Thompson, the deadCenter Director of Programming. Sarah, welcome to the show.
Hey, Caleb. Thank you so much for having me. You're always just a treat to see. I love your support of film and of our organization. So I'm thrilled to be here.
Well, again, you guys are fun to talk to work with, and you're really just bringing the game to Oklahoma film each and every year at deadCenter. I'm just excited to hear about what's happening this year as our listeners, I think. So it'll be a fun conversation. Now, listeners, before we do get too far into today's conversation, I just want to quickly note that if you're listening to our show and you enjoyed this conversation, please make sure to support the show by subscribing and leaving us a rating and a review on your preferred podcast app, most specifically Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And this is going to be especially important for those of you who are planning to attend deadCenter or keep up with all the awesome things that are happening there, because we're going to be dropping episodes directly into the RSS feed for subscribers for the next week and a half to 2 weeks, going all the way through the festival. Episodes every 1 to 2 days. So it's going to be a really exciting time for those of you who subscribe, and you have those podcasts delivered directly to that podcast app. But let's start with, I think, huge news, which is we are returning to a fully in-person festival this year after 2 years of being either a virtual or partially hybrid festival. So Miranda, I want to turn it to you first here. I mean, after 2 years of having a hybrid festival, what can attendees this year expect from the return to that fully in-person experience?
So many things to do that you're tired all the time, but like that really excited tired where you get to Sunday night and you're like, why are my biceps sore? Like that type of tired. But we're bringing back some of the deadCenter classics and some new partnership and events. So it's everything from outdoor screenings to those parties that everyone loves and to incredible programming at 6 theaters this year. So we're excited.
All right. So those of you who have been around, who have attended previous to the pandemic, get ready to walk all around downtown OKC because lots of 6 theater locations. So I'm just curious. So that is with the Harkins Bricktown, the Oklahoma City Museum of Art. So there's the Scissortail Park screening, correct? What are the other ones I'm missing here?
So Scissortail Park screening. There will be an outdoor screening at Wheeler Park. Then you have Rodeo Cinema in the Stockyards, Rodeo on Film Row, and then of course FAM, our First Americans Museum. So that's 7.
Yeah. Well, and Yale.
Yes. Oh, forgive me. It's Yale. So technically 8.
Oh man. I'm super excited. New venues added this year. That's going to be a treat. I always like checking out just new theater experiences in the city, and you guys create a great opportunity to do that for the first time. I just want to follow up with that. I mean, I would love to hear from both of you on this one. And Miranda, I'll start with you again. I mean, what would you say you're looking forward to most about the in-person experience this year?
Watching people experience the things that we've been working hard on. So the outdoor screenings, like watching these films that Sarah and I have watched, the whole team have had the opportunity to watch prior to this, and watching them get excited about what we get excited about or like laugh at what we laughed at. So the film attendee experience is what I'm excited about. I'm just excited, Caleb. Okay.
No, I hear that though, because again, while I did enjoy the comfort of watching in my own home, which was very nice. It was a nice treat. There's just something you can't duplicate about having that communal experience, especially when it's with a lot of people you may know if you're active in the film community here. But Sarah, how about you? What are you looking forward to this year?
I echo those same sentiments. My two favorite things about my job are the audience and the filmmakers. And so getting those two groups back together in a theater to experience art together, I mean, I can't wait for it. Film festival film audiences, they're the best movie audiences on earth. They're rooting for the films. They're excited. If it's a comedy, they're laughing louder. If it's a horror, they're screaming louder. It's just wonderful. And I can't wait to be in the room with those two groups of people again.
But speaking of the movies, Sarah, I mean, I think this is a great segue into the thing that people are, obviously the experience is a big thing, but we got to talk about movies. What are things people are going to see and be talking about during the festival? So I would say, as is the tradition with deadCenter, this year has a really strong lineup of feature films, both narrative and documentary. And what I mean by there is feature film, feature length films. So what can attendees expect from the features category?
Oh my gosh, they can expect more features than they're used to seeing at deadCenter in person. Turns out I couldn't pare it down from virtual to real life. And I gave our programmers a certain number of films to be programmed, and we just kept adding more and more. You can expect a dedicated set of Pride features this year. There's 4. You can expect 3 amazing music docs this year. You can expect 3 awesome Oklahoma feature films. We have a really amazing new fun program with our guest programmer, filmmaker Mickey Reese, which is our Undead Center. So you can expect a really great slate of art and horror-esque films. There's something for everyone, and it's a fantastic program.
Awesome. Yeah, that's what I love. There really is a shorts block or a track you guys have for everyone. I'm in particular, I am very excited about the Undead Center that Mickey Reese is putting together. You just never know what you're going to discover.
Yeah, and it really is midnight style films. I hate to say horror because it's not just that. It's also artistic films. So I'm really excited about that slate.
Yeah, awesome. And are there any Okie features that you think attendees should prioritize this year?
Yeah, we have 3 great Oklahoma features this year. We have Out of Exile, Tin Killer, and Chicken House, and I think you want to catch all 3 of them. We're also very fortunate this year to have a documentary, Oklahoma Breakdown. Now, this is an Okie expat directed film, but it's about Mike Hosty, loved musician, local Oklahoma musician. So I definitely think you want to catch all of those.
Excellent. So again, 4 really solid choices there. Now, what about feature documentaries? There's a couple of very exciting ones that I caught both opening and closing the festival. So I'd love it if you could tell us about those.
Oh yeah, no. So Mama Bears opens up our festival. This is one of my favorite films I've seen anywhere all year. It has a huge Oklahoma tie as well. So Mama Bears is about very devout Christian conservative mothers learning how to accept their LGBTQ kids and learning that, you can have faith and you can also be accepting and loving. And one of the main subjects in it is Sarah Cunningham from Free Mom Hugs. So that's definitely something you want to catch. It's going to be an emotional screening. I may have cried from the beginning till the end, but in all the best ways. Then for our closing night film, we have Butterfly in the Sky, which is a wonderful tribute to Reading Rainbow and LeVar Burton and the impact that he had on children, and what a wonderful influence he was. So those are great. We also have, I don't know, I get weary to start naming ones off because I'm afraid I'm going to forget another one. And then that filmmaker is going to, I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. Our entire doc slate is phenomenal. So you're definitely going to want to check that out.
Sarah, thanks for giving us the rundown. Again, for the full list of features, you can check out deadcenterfilm.org for the full schedule. And Miranda, of course, this year, again, especially with the return to fully in person, this continues the tradition of public film screenings. So what are a few of the public screenings that all of our listeners can attend?
Yeah, so our first one will be Friday night. So Sister Tell Park has a wonderful night market that happens once a month. So for the month of June, we will be showing Oklahoma City Thunder's Seeds of Greenwood during the night market. So you can walk around, buy everything that you want, get a bunch of snacks, and then watch the screening in the middle of the park. So we got a great screen from Toucan Productions. It's this beautiful LED. So it is a massive TV screen. So we won't have to wait for the sun to go down. So that'll start around 7:30 on Friday. And then after that, it will be a Saturday screening at the Wheeler Park. It's about the same concept. So we'll start music videos at 7 on Saturday. And then the film itself will start around 9. But yeah, it's just... those two are my favorite. Like, I love being outside. I'm a big outdoorsy person, so maybe that's why.
Well, and you get to experience some of the latest and greatest spots in Oklahoma City, being the Wheeler District, Scissortail Park. It's always lots of fun to get together with folks, and I like that there's like food trucks and all that fun stuff.
Yes, there will be so many food trucks.
And remind me, what was the film that was screening in the Wheeler District on Saturday?
Saturday night Wheeler Park screening is awesome. It's called Getting It Back, the story of Samande. And Samande is a Caribbean band. They're in the UK now, but they're an awesome band. And basically they pretty much inspired the beats that inspired the hip hop movement. So it's going to be super cool. And you're going to get a teaser of how awesome they are throughout the fest, because we're actually using one of their songs for our bumper this year.
Oh, exciting. I can't wait to see the bumper, by the way. It's always gets me pumped up. Now, Sarah, we can't move on from this year's movies without talking about the shorts. And I know there's literally dozens and dozens of shorts films, so we can't go through all of them. But I would love to hear a little bit more about the highlights when you look at the rundown of short film blocks. What are a few that you'd like to call out for listeners?
Oh, my gosh. Well, first I want to call out Paris Burris and Cam Chavez Rojas are two shorts programmers, because they're amazing. They're two super awesome women. And again, it was one of those situations where I thought, oh, we'll only have like 11 short programs, and we have like 18 or something like that. So it's an insane amount. I think Comedy Center is going to be great. We're kicking off the festival on Thursday night with that program. It's going to be awesome. That's definitely one to check out. If you are it's your first foray into short film, and you're wanting to check it out for the first time, I'd recommend either Tear Jerkers or Big Hearted Shorts. Those are super accessible and awesome films that aren't going to push anyone over the edge like maybe our experimentals will. For those looking for a little bit more daring content, there is that program I just mentioned. Also, they have put together something called Sinful Cinema Shorts, and I believe that will be hosted by a couple of women in nun outfits. So I'm pretty excited about this block. And then our Oklahoma shorts obviously are always our most popular. This year we have 2 Oklahoma short programs, volume 1 and 2. And we also have an Okie episodic program. So if you're wanting to go check out local work, there's plenty of opportunity for that. But the whole slate is amazing. And since it's our first year of being an Oscar qualifying festival in specifically the live action short and the short animation categories, the submissions that we got were just completely outstanding, which is why we had to take so many of them. And I'm just thrilled to see that short audience come back out.
Awesome. I mean, again, you guys really have an eye for finding just the top-notch shorts. It's hard to go wrong with any of the blocks. So listeners, check it out. Again, there are several, including the ones that Sarah just gave us a shout out with there. So let's talk a little bit about another thing that deadCenter has historically been known for, which is the parties, the celebrations.
Yay. Yeah. Oh, man. Those are fun. So we will have parties every day, all day. They start off in the morning with our DC Breakfast Club. So you can grab some breakfast at Neon or Rev and have a breakfast cocktail and a few breakfast items. And then we go from there. Of course, our traditional opening night and closing night parties. Opening night will be at the Joinery which just recently opened. And then the closing night is back at Kindred Spirits, which is also one of our, is a sponsor of the Afro Cinema Pass. So that's a really cool tie-in there. And then in between, we have our Saturday night party, which follows the outdoor screening at Wheeler, and that will be at Lively Brew House. So you'll eat some beer, have a silent disco dance party, all of that, cool, unexpected stuff. But my favorite party, and I need to see everyone there, is the pajama party at 21C. Because we're gonna show Magic Mike.
I thought I saw that on the schedule. I was meaning to ask you.
Sarah's playing some incredible surprises for that, so I highly encourage everyone to stay up late and come to 21C for that pajama party.
Any excuse to go out in pajamas. Miranda, I wanted to turn to you here. I mean, obviously, there's so many things to do. There's so many movies to see, activities to attend. So I want to just chat briefly here about badges and pricing, because I believe you guys have several options that are available this year. So in addition to the normal deadCenter pass that grants pass holders access to all of the movies at $175, I know that you just introduced a new one, the Bison Pass, for $300, and I know there's a few others. So could you tell us a little bit more about the new options that you're providing attendees this year?
Absolutely. So the Bison Pass is just that elevated experience to where you can RSVP for screening. So you're not just like trying to beat the rush to get there. You'll have a designated spot, and you know that you'll be able to see the film as long as you get there within your time frame. But then the two other additions would be our Pride Pass, which is in partnership with the Pride Alliance, and it'll give you access to the Rainbow Shorts, Volume 1 and 2, and all of our wonderful Pride programming, Pride Center programming that LaRon Chapman has been a part of and so great at it. And then our Afro Cinema Pass is, again, in partnership with Kindred Spirits, and it gives you access to all of the Kindred Spirits sponsored films and the Oki Episodics, a really great party on Sunday night. But yeah, they're worth checking out. If you go to our website, it gives you a full breakdown of what those additional passes will give you. But both the Pride and Afro Cinema Pass, they're only $50. So that's a nice way to ease into the festival if you're not doing just individual tickets.
Fantastic. Longtime listeners of the show, support LaRon Chapman's awesomeness. If you ever wanted to see what he would do with a block of films.
He's so cool.
Oh, yes. And recently married. That's a separate podcast. Mm-hmm. Sarah, anything else you'd like to add about the passes this year?
Well, I really just wanted to also talk about LaRon and how awesome he was, and to take this opportunity to also shout out the other two programmers that we haven't mentioned yet, which would be Kevin Ely, who also does our bumper, if you love it, and Sunrise Tibicani. So together with LaRon, those two, and Cam and Paris, we have an amazing team of programmers. So if you see them out during the festival, buy them a beer and tell them how much you like the movies, because they really are. I'm more like Nick Fury, and they are the Avengers.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and longtime listeners, we've had, I think, both Sunrise and Kevin on at various points in the show's history. So again, give them a shout out at the festival. Again, you guys are doing so much work behind the scenes. And actually, I recently heard Mickey Reese talk about how low key challenging it is to build a successful programming block with him doing it for the first time this year. So just hats off to everyone who worked on the excellent program. All right, so we're going to begin winding down today's conversation, but I wanted to give you guys a chance to do one final sign off or provide any other information you'd like to have. So Sarah, is there anything else you would like to add about deadCenter 2022 before we wrap up today's conversation?
I would just like to say I hope to see as many folks out as we can get. I think that the whole entire team is really excited and thrilled to be here. And I really like to describe deadCenter as like, adult, I almost said adult movie camp, but I didn't mean it like that, but like summer camp for adults who love movies. Because you come out, and I encourage everyone to do like as much as you can, do the whole weekend, come out on Thursday night and stay for the weekend, because you're going to make some lifelong friends and some super memorable experiences and see a lot of awesome films. So come find me if you have questions about the program. I'll be happy to share everything I know.
Well said. I like that. Summer camp for adults who love movies. Miranda, how about you? Anything you would like to add for listeners?
About the same. Like, just come out, have fun. And if you want to volunteer, we have a few more spots left for volunteers. And after a couple shifts, you automatically get a free pass. So it's worth it. And we also feed you and give you clothes. So it's perfect. Perfect. Sorry, a little TikTok thing. I think in TikToks now. But yes, just come hang out at the festival. We would love to meet you if you see any of us running around. Be sure to say hi. And thank you for listening.
And Miranda, outside of TikTok, where can listeners today keep up with all the exciting festivities happening at this year's festival, both your website and social media?
Yeah. So on our website, I would keep a close eye on Instagram and Twitter. We do have a Facebook presence, but Instagram and Twitter are try and trues, and also where we'll be doing secret announcements and giveaways. So follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, Snapchat. Yeah, we're everywhere.
All right. Well, hey, Sarah, Miranda, it's been such a pleasure speaking with you. I'm super excited to see you guys out and about at the festival this year. So again, listeners, just for one final sign off, Sarah Thompson, the deadCenter Director of Programming. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much. I've had a great time.
And Miranda Patton, the deadCenter Director of Operations in the festival. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure.
Wonderful. And listeners, thank you so much for joining us. Again, this is just the first of many pieces of deadCenter podcast content you'll be able to get throughout the festival starting today. So subscribe today if you want to keep up with little previews and interviews, really kind of highlighting all of the different things we'll be playing at this year's festival. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll catch you again next time.